Hey, what's up, Life Masters? Stefan James here, and I am live right now on the Project Life Mastery YouTube channel. If you're joining in live, I'd love to hear who is joining in. Please leave a comment or leave a message right here in the chat. Let me know your name and where you're joining in from, and I'm happy to give you guys some shout outs. Now, a few things I want to mention here today. Number one, I just published a few hours ago a motivational video on my YouTube channel. Did you watch it? If not, make sure that you did. It's a pretty inspirational video that I wanted to share with you guys. It's called How Bad Do You Want It? Do you want it bad enough? And it's one of those videos that I like to put out once in a while, just with that intensity and the energy and really to communicate in a way that inspires you to take action in your life, because every once in a while you need that. You need someone to kick your butt a little bit to get you into action and making the decisions that you need to make to get the life that you want. And sometimes a softer approach doesn't work, and so that's why I have different sides where I like to communicate in different ways to really inspire you guys and light a fire under your ass, hopefully. So that video is on the YouTube channel. I'm excited for that. Make sure that you get a chance to watch it. Share it with someone that could also be inspired by it. And I've got a lot of awesome videos coming up for you guys pretty soon, this week and next week, that you guys will love too. Videos of another inspirational one coming next Monday. I've got some great interviews coming with some successful internet marketers and business owners to help share with you their best strategies and their mindset for success and building a business. So stay tuned for all of that. And I also want to mention, before I see all the comments coming in right now, but I want to mention as well, before I dive into the questions that you guys have for me, that today is the last day to join the Knowledge Business Blueprint. So if you haven't been following me for a while, you don't know much about it, the links are in the description below of this video, but this is the newest course by Tony Robbins and Graziosi and Russell Brunson. I've been promoting it and sharing it with you guys because I believe in it. It's one of the best courses that I've ever been through. I share it with my heart and passion because I know the impact that it's already made in my life, but also those three individuals have changed my life in so many ways, and I want you guys to benefit from that too. When I think about how much my life has changed and over the years, but just the privilege that I have to do what I do every day, to create content and share my knowledge and things that I'm learning, it's the most rewarding thing that I do. And I really want to encourage those of you that it resonates with to step up and join, because at midnight tonight, which would be 11:59 p.m. Pacific time, that is about 12 hours from now, less than 12 hours, it's your last chance to join. So that means that you can join it at a later point in the future, but they're closing it tonight. They'll open it again sometime in the future, but it's going to be at a much higher price point. You'll never get this price again. You'll never get all the bonuses that they're offering again. And you're not going to get all the incredible bonuses that I'm offering you as well. That gives you the opportunity to get mentorship from me, to get coaching from me, to help you build your business, and me sharing my years of experience and knowledge as well. So all of it ends and expires tonight. It's the last chance. I've been nonstop busy answering questions and live chatting with people about it, and thousands of people have already joined the program and are loving it so far, and people are already putting on their own events and doing some incredible things. It's truly inspirational. So I'm blessed to be a part of it. This is one of the biggest launches now in the history of this industry, and we're on a mission to make self-education the new norm, because self-education's changed my life. If you're here right now, it's probably changed your life as well. If you watch my YouTube videos and my content, or you've also gone through courses and training programs or books or self-development, you know the impact that it's made in your life. And now it's time to pay it forward, because for me, there's no cooler job or career that you could have than being in the position where you get to share the things that you're learning. Like, I love my career and my mission, what I do with Project Life Mastery, because it doesn't feel like work. Every day, guys, I'm reading books, I'm learning, I'm going through courses, and I learn things that help me become a better person in my life. And then I get to make money from it too by sharing that with other people and helping you guys and serving the world in that way. So for me, it's no better career of what I'd want to spend my time doing instead besides this. And I know many of you can really have your life changed by it as well. So anyways, all the details are in the description below, so click on through there. The link to my bonuses are there for you too, and what I'm providing for you. But I just want to mention that once again. And then another thing I'm going to mention too is that I'm going to do another live stream probably late tonight before everything closes down. So I've been answering people's questions on live chat and email, but sometimes it's a lot easier just to do a stream like this where I can reach more people at the same time and don't have to repeat the same answers every single time. And so for those that are going to be up later tonight and thinking about joining, I'm happy to do another stream tonight. Answer any questions that you guys have as well. So if you're around and the time zone works, that will be probably I'd say anywhere from 6 to 12 hours from now. I'm not sure when. Probably more like 8 to 12. Yeah, probably around 8 hours from now, I'll probably do another live stream. So going live for you guys, and happy to answer any questions. So who do we got here? Okay, I see Gracie from Brooklyn, New York. Welcome. I see, let me scroll up. We've got Shanu. I see, say Houston, Texas. Brian, welcome Brian. I got an Angel from Georgia. Guatemala, cool. Tali from London. Falkirk from Scotland, welcome. Desmond from Hawaii. We got Ken from Austria. We got Bob from Switzerland. Dennis from the Netherlands. Daz from Cornwall. We got Mr. Boeing from Bangladesh. Anton from Northern Ireland. Gabriel from Canada. Solly from South Africa. Yanina from Argentina. I'll be in Buenos Aires in the next 2 weeks. Hidayah from Somalia. Jenny from Brooklyn. Hamza from Dubai. We got someone from Macedonia. Samir, Dallas. New York, Mexico, Morocco, South Africa, Kirkland, Italy, Poland. Wow, guys, we got people from all over the world right now. So cool. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day. I always want to make sure that anytime you give me your time, I want to give something back. That's just my nature. I want to make sure that I leave you here inspired, better educated, better off in some ways. So if there's any questions that I can answer for you guys, post them here in the chat. I'll do the best that I can to answer them for you. I always love to pick, I'll do whatever I can to answer the most questions I can, but I always love to answer questions that can benefit the most amount of people here, so everyone can get a chance to benefit from my response that I might give. So any questions, post them in the chat. Let's dive into it. And let's see if we can, change some lives here today and shift some belief systems and provide some more inspiration for your life. Got my mastermind mug here from mastermind.com, which, by the way, this whole launch that we're doing, it's to launch mastermind.com. There's a bigger vision and purpose that we have with it is, Tony Robbins and Graziosi, they want to create like the next masterclass.com, but for masterminds, and they want to bring in and have masterminds for every topic, every niche out there. So it's really cool to be a part of this big trend in this big industry, which right now, people spend $355 million a day on self-education, which blows me away, and that number's going up to $1 billion a day by 2025. So it's a huge growing industry that's cool to be a part of and to be able to benefit from. Okay, let's dive into these questions. Who's funnier, Tony, Dean, or Russell? I mean, Russell's a really fun guy. But Tony has always shared the best stories if you've ever been to any of his seminars, and his seminars are hilarious. He makes it really entertaining. So Tony is one of the most charismatic human beings that I've ever met, ever seen. He just has such an incredible energy to him, but he can be pretty funny. How many hours a day should you work on your business? I think it really depends on what your goals are. I don't measure how many hours that I work in my business because I've integrated my business to my life. It's a kind of a different feeling, when you're doing something every day. It doesn't feel like work. It's just an extension of who you are. It's your mission, and there's different feelings and emotions that you tie to your mission or your purpose in life than you do from having a job or a business or a career. So it really depends on what your goals are. For me, there's times in my business where I have a certain project or something I'm really passionate about, in which case I can work a lot. I can work all day and all night, but it's because I'm so excited to do it. Like, man, for this launch I've been working on for 3 months, and it's all coming to an end today. But for the last 3 months, guys, I was working my ass off harder than I've ever worked before in my life, even more than when I was in a state of desperation in my life. Like, I remember, when I was first building my business and I was so frustrated because I wasn't successful, and I had so much pain around money and finances, and I was broke, and I was trying to figure out how I could pay my rent every month and how I was going to survive. I had moments like that I isolated myself, and I worked so hard. And I remember one time where I stayed up 48 hours straight to work, and it was something I look back and I pride myself on. But at times like that, I just always believed that I wasn't working hard enough, and I needed to work more because I was trying to find the answers of why I wasn't where I wanted to be. And I exhausted every possible thing. Okay, I'm not working hard enough. I got to take that to the next level. And I would always think about and imagine the most successful people, how much they had to work, how much they had to sacrifice. And I thought, man, if I want to be like them, I've got to go through that phase myself. But anyways, I worked so hard throughout my life and sacrificed a lot. But this last 3 months, I took it to another level, which I didn't even know would exist. I'd be waking up in the middle of the night just so excited, like no alarm clock, but I'm just like waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning like, okay, I got ideas that I want to put into action. And it sounds crazy, but successful people do what the failures won't do, right? Successful people can be a little bit crazy at times, and that's what success often requires in any endeavor of life, is going to an extreme that the average person might not be willing to do, and that's why the average person gets average results. So when you go extraordinary, when you're outstanding, which means when you stand out from everyone else, that's when you get rewarded the most as well. But for me, on a project like that, I can work crazy hours, intense hours. I enjoy it. Time disappears. Other times, though, I don't need to work that much. I don't need to work as hard as I do anymore. I've made it technically, and it depends on the stage of your business too. I think the ultimate goal, though, of course, is when you work because it's your choice. You work because you get to, not because you have to. That's a different feeling, isn't it? When you get to do something versus having to do something. For me, I never wanted to have to work. I've always wanted to work because I wanted to work. And the same thing with Tatiana as well, as I want her to be in that position also, where she doesn't have to work, she doesn't have to have that pressure, but she can do it because she chooses to. And that's what really freedom is, in my opinion. But the ultimate goal of your business also is to set it up in a way where it can run without you, and maybe you leverage other people and you have staff and employees and a team that can grow the business, and the business can run without you being involved, because the ultimate goal is not to be the business operator, but to be the business owner. And that's a different psychology, a different mindset, but that's the ultimate goal. So how many hours should you work? As many hours as you want, depending on the goals that you have, the projects you want to achieve. Okay, what time is it by you? Right now it's 2 p.m. right now in Panama City. There was an earthquake yesterday in Panama, which I didn't even know until my dad emailed me and said, "Are you okay?" But it was on the south side of Panama. Hello from Scotland. How is it best to deal with procrastination? So where does procrastination come from? What is procrastination? I can't even spell it. Procrastination is when you know you should do something, but you're not doing it. Why aren't you doing it? It's because you associate pain to the process of doing it. So anything that you associate pain to, you're going to have a hard time doing it. Maybe you're procrastinating to go to the gym, and it's because you have linked up in your head that you associate pain to the process of going to the gym. Or maybe there's a goal that you're trying to achieve, or maybe there's a business that you're trying to build, and you're procrastinating again because there's pain. You're making it in your mind bigger than it needs to be, uncomfortable, painful, and it's all in your mind, right? Because we all know once you actually do it, you realize it wasn't that hard in the first place. It's kind of like, jumping into a swimming pool, jumping into, the deep end, right? At first you hesitate and you procrastinate with it, and you get in your head. And you got to understand, the more you get in your head, the more that you hesitate, the harder it gets, right? The more that you sit there thinking and overanalyzing it, you're digging yourself a hole that's harder to get out of. So the key is not even to think, but just to do it. Once you have that idea, just put it into action right away. But the key to overcoming procrastination is you have to change your association to what you're doing. You have to, instead of linking pain to doing it, you have to link pleasure to the process of doing it and pain to not doing it, okay? You've got to associate in your mind, by not doing this, it is going to equal massive pain in my life. By not taking action and going to the gym, man, the pain of that of not doing it, man, I'm gonna be overweight, I'm not gonna have energy, I'm not gonna have the experience of life that I want, I'm not gonna look in the mirror and feel proud of myself, proud of my body, my self-esteem will go down because I know that I'm not following through in my life, my confidence will go down, I'm not gonna live as long as I wanna live on this life, I'm not taking care of my body and my temple. That should create pain for you. And that pain of realizing, man, by not doing this, there's a consequence, there's pain to not doing this. That will propel you into action, right? But also you gotta think, what's the pleasure of doing this? What's the pleasure of going to the gym? Man, by going to the gym, I'm gonna feel so much more confident. By going to the gym, I'm gonna feel good about myself. I'm gonna gain self-esteem. I'm gonna build my integrity within myself that when I say I do something, I fucking do it. Right? That's power, my willpower. I'm building my muscle. I'm building my body. I'm respecting and loving myself because every act that I do for my body or myself is an act of self-love. I'm building an abundance mentality even from that fact as well. So you got to equal in your mind, there's massive pleasure to the process of it. You shift those associations, you change your life. You change your life. So one thing I'd recommend you do is whatever you're procrastinating on, take out a pen and paper, okay, write down what it is that you want to get yourself to do, and then ask yourself the question and write down the responses to this. Write down what is all of the pleasure that I'll get by doing this. And be specific, be detailed, think of everything you possibly can. Then write down what is the pain or the consequence I'll have in my life by not doing this. How will it negatively affect my life? How will it hold me back from the other areas of my life? How will it make me feel about my life a year from now, 5 or 10 years from now? And then you shift that, you're gonna do it. Okay, I'm an undergraduating student. I don't have a big money to do a big startup. So how can I earn without investing? Okay, so you're asking, you're a student right now, you don't have the money to do a big startup. Don't do a big startup. You don't need to. I mean, if you want to do a big startup, you got to raise money and find investors to do it. But, starting an online business today is cheaper than it's ever been. Online business is a great opportunity because you can make a lot of money from it. And I mean, the technology and everything available is just so much easier. All you need is a good course and training program and then a bit of money to invest and get started with it. But man, when I started, think about how much harder and more expensive it was to get a website made, or that, even to market your business or your product or service because there wasn't, Facebook ads and YouTube and blogging, and there wasn't all these things that were available that are now available today that just make it so much easier. So listen, I mean, if you don't have money, you've got to make money. You've got to get a job, right? A job provides immediate income. You get a job 2 weeks from now, you get paid for that work that you put in. There's plenty of jobs available. Many of you right now, the job that you have is just not making you enough for you to achieve your goals or start your business. The answer to that is get a higher paying job. There's plenty of jobs out there, and especially when you open yourself up to the internet and you're not just limited to your local city. It's hard to find a job if you're only limited to your neighborhood, right? I got to find a job within this radius around where I live in my city. There's very few jobs that are available if you only limit yourself to looking for jobs in that capacity. But if you realize that I can get a job for any company anywhere in the world, there's virtual jobs, there's virtual companies that I can work for, online businesses that I can work for, and I can work from home, I can work from my computer. There's a lot more options and opportunity available for you, especially if you live in a country that, some of these countries that it's harder to make money from. I have staff, for example, that work for me in my company from all over the world. I have people from the Philippines. I've got someone from Morocco. I've got Budapest. I've got within the United States, within Canada, Germany. So all over the world. And same thing with Tatiana's business too. So there's plenty of jobs available, but it just requires you to learn some skills, learn a specific skill, master something, get good at it, and then find jobs online and companies that you can work for. You could be a freelancer. Plenty of jobs available there. One of the websites that I hire people from is called Upwork.com. So Upwork.com, UPWORK.com, and you can you can apply for jobs there from everything. So there's plenty of opportunity out there, but a lot of you, you're not thinking enough about how to make more money, how to upgrade your situation of where you are in your life, and it's because a lot of people get too comfortable in a job, and it depends what you value, because a lot of people, they overvalue comfort and security, and nothing wrong with that, but you got to look at, if you really overvalue comfort and security, then it's going to be hard for you to build a business, because building a business requires you getting outside of your comfort zone and having uncertainty in the process. And that's what makes a great entrepreneur, is they're willing to take on a risk in their life and go for their goals and their dreams in that way that a lot of people aren't willing to. So that's my response. Okay. How long does it probably take to succeed as a motivational speaker and affiliate marketer on internet worldwide? You know, it's really impossible to say. There's not like a fixed time frame that I can give you on how long it takes. Depends on you. Do you have skills and gifts right now? Where are you starting from? For me, I started from a place in my life where I was really shy, very introverted, and still am. You know, I had a lot of limiting beliefs. I had a lot of barriers. I had a lisp. I used to mumble a lot. I never talked to anyone. I was starting from a really weak point, but you know, I had a disadvantage, but my disadvantage actually became my advantage, my gift, because of the pain and where I was starting from, I had hunger and commitment that most people didn't have. And so I was willing to work harder on myself than anyone else, but it took me many years. It did not happen overnight. I had to work on myself. I had to work on my speaking skills. I had to study professional speakers. I had to transcribe their speeches and break it down and practice speaking in different ways and push my comfort zone and do public speaking classes and Toastmasters and everything I possibly could to improve. And then I had to learn marketing and business. And, you know, it takes years to succeed in anything. I mean, how long does it take to succeed, to get a great job, you know, and go to university and get your degree and then get a great job? It takes a few years to do that. How long does it take to learn a musical instrument? How long does it take to get great at a language? These things can take years, right? So there's no shortcut. There's no like, you shortcut things by learning from others, modeling success. That accelerates things, but it's still a process, you know. If you don't accelerate things and model, invest, and learn from other people, it'll take you forever. But you get there faster by learning and studying other people and investing in resources that can help you accelerate things. I live in the UK, so do you suggest selling on the UK market or the American one? No, either or. You know, you can sell in either market that you want. Depends on the demand that's available. Depends on how you're marketing your business. Are you trying to build a global business and brand? You know, the US obviously is a bigger marketplace, and it doesn't really matter where you sell. Like, I'm from Canada, and I've never sold in Canada. I always sold in the United States. Bigger market in the US, and it didn't really affect anything. So, you know, you can sell in any market you want. You just got to do the research on it. I always say, get a good course that can guide you, because you're going to be in for a surprise of a lot of things you're not even aware of. Because listen, when you're on the outside of a business and you see success stories, you see me talk about it, Tatiana, all this, you know, a lot of you are thinking, oh yeah, no, that's easy. Oh yeah, I could do that, no problem. You know, it seems so easy to do it. You have no idea. You have no idea what we've gone through. We share with you our successes and our failures and struggles, but most people, they don't realize there's so much to building a business that when you're on the outside and you're looking in, you're in a place of ignorance and being naive, right? Because you haven't yet been through the process. So you, on the outside, think, oh, it must be easy, and it's not. It's very challenging to build any business in any type. It's tough. You know, it's hard to be successful, and we need all the help that we can get. And I don't know anyone that's become successful on their own. Everyone that I know that's been successful has learned from others, studied others, invested in trainings and mentors and all of that to become successful. And it's something that I still do to this day, because I'm always looking to grow, and that's the best way to do it. What would you say is the second best thing aside from Amazing Selling Machine? So the next best course that I've recommended is called Marketplace Superheroes. I'll post the link here in the chat for you. But you know, it doesn't come close, because you gotta, like, why wouldn't you join Amazing Selling Machine? That's definitely the best one that's out there, and it's gonna lead to the highest success rate for you to actually build a business, because they provide mentorship, and I've got awesome bonuses, all those things that are gonna help you become successful. There's other courses that are out there, but you gotta look at what you pay for is what you get. You invest in something that's cheaper, it's not gonna be as complete, it's not gonna be as updated, it's not gonna provide the guidance that you need to get to where you want to go. So it's just going to be a lot harder. And for me, like, if I'm going to start a business, I'm going to commit my time and my money to building something, I've always got to have the best. Like, go for the best, guys. Get the best that's available for you, because it'll just make it so much easier for you. And I just know from my experience, it's a great option for you too, but I just know from my experience, like, just get the best help that can guide you from A to Z and help you get there a lot easier. Hi there, I'm very much enthusiastic about being an entrepreneur like you. So for a newbie, what should we start with, like people struggle with being motivated to get success? Well, first, great that you want to be an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is awesome. I love it. It's not easy by any means, but one thing that I love the most and what I look at is that is who you become in the process is incredible, because it forces you to grow, be resourceful, be more confident, be more intelligent, make better decisions, deal with stress. All these character traits you gain through the process of building a business is invaluable for you. So that's what I always look at. And it's not for everyone, but for those of you that want the max experience of life and you want to grow and you don't want to settle, then being an entrepreneur is great. Now you asked, for a newbie, what should we start with? Well, number one is, find a business that you want to build, an idea that you might have, or a business model that can help you succeed, and learn the skills. I have courses myself. I have courses that I recommend. I have a quiz that you can take to help find a business for you. If you go to projectlifemastery.com/quiz, which I'll post right here for you in the chat, that can answer a question, help you identify what business you want, because it depends on what your motivation is. Like, I can have a criteria, there's a certain criteria that certain businesses might be better for you. That's based on how much money do you have to invest? How much time do you have available? What's your current experience level? Are you beginner, intermediate, or more advanced? What's your motivation for building a business? Is it just money? Is it passive income? Is it freedom? Is it you want to impact other people's lives and make an impact in the world? Do you want to do what you love, right? There's different businesses that are going to be more aligned with you, and sometimes you got to try different things. I didn't pick one business and that was what I do today. I tried many different businesses, and understand that you learn and you grow through that process to find what your strengths are and who you are. And that's the process of self-development, is learning yourself, what your strengths and weaknesses are, what your gifts are. And once you discover what that is, then you find the right business and you can go all in on that. So it could take a while if you're brand new, but I think the most valuable thing when you're brand new is learning and just do. Learn, do, learn, do. Don't just get caught up in learning. Don't just get caught up in watching videos or going through courses. You got to apply it, because you're always going to learn more by actually applying and doing than you ever will just by sitting there doing nothing. So get in the habit of doing things, and even if it's not the right thing, just do it anyways, just to learn and grow and gain skills from it, because those skills will be valuable for you at that stage when you're then ready and you found that mission and that purpose and that business that you want to grow. It will benefit you at that point. And in terms of motivation, one thing I always do too is I always got to know what my vision is and what my plan is for my life. So I always start with what my vision is for my life. I know exactly what my vision is. I dream about it, I think about it, I journal about it. And once I know what my vision is, then I figure out, okay, how am I going to get there? What's the best path for me to get there? What's the best vehicle? What can I start doing today that can guide me to get and manifest that vision that I have for my life? So a lot of people, they don't know really what they want. They're not very clear on that. And I think you really got to do some soul searching and get clarity on what you want from your life. And it's not to say that it can't change. It always does change. But at least by having a target and a vision, then you make the decisions in your life asking yourself, does this align with my vision? Will this get me to where I want to go? Every decision that I make in my life, it's in alignment with what my vision is for my life. I know it's going to get me to where I want to go. What, according to you, is the definition of a successful life? Well, it's a great question because everyone has a different definition. My definition might be very different than your definition because what you're asking is just what do I believe success is? For me, the way I define it is not based on how much money that I have. It's not based on how famous I am or anything like that. It's based on life mastery. Because what good is it in your life if you have all the money in the world, but you're overweight, you don't have a vital and healthy body? Or what good is it, having all the money in the world, but you're alone, you don't have a passionate and loving relationship? Or what good is it having all the money in the world, but you're not happy, you're not joyous in your life, you're not truly fulfilled? There's been plenty of examples out there of people that have been successful, but they're not happy, they're not fulfilled. I mean, if you look at a Robin Williams who was incredibly successful at what he did, he ended up committing suicide. And there's been plenty of examples of billionaires and multi-billionaires that have it all seemingly, but they're not happy and fulfilled. So for me, life mastery is it. I've always wanted, and that's why I built Project Life Mastery, is I want to grow and evolve and develop myself in every aspect of my life. I want to be the best version of myself. And it always starts first, the foundation of my physical body. I've got to master my body because your body is the vehicle that allows you to experience everything from life through. You don't take care of your body, it's gonna lower your quality of life. It's gonna lower everything else that you experience thereafter. It's gonna affect your relationships, it's gonna affect your emotions, it's gonna affect your business, your productivity. It's going to affect everything else. So your body, I always start, that's the foundation. My mindset, my emotions, that's also the foundation as well. That, if I can't get myself to take action, if I don't have the confidence, if I don't condition the beliefs that I need to have, if I don't enjoy the journey and the process along the way, then everything else doesn't really matter. Your emotions is going to affect your business. Your emotions is going to affect your relationships. It's going to affect everything. So I look at improving and mastering all those areas of my life, my relationships, my spiritual life, my friends, my family, my social life, my contribution to this world, my business, my finances. They're all working together, but I'm someone that wants all of it out of life. I don't want to, major in minor things. I want to make sure that I improve and grow in every aspect of my life, and that's, for me, what success is. And I've never really been that impressed by people out there that, on YouTube or Instagram, and they have a great physique, but they're struggling financially and they don't have a great relationship, they're not happy. That doesn't inspire me. I look at that, I'm like, okay, that's kind of like a warning. I could be inspired by the body, but they don't have this other areas of my life that I'm looking for someone that is a role model of that. Or the person that has all the money and they're flashy and they have a Lamborghini and all that, but they don't have the other areas of their life taken, together, right? So for me, I just know based on where I'm at with my life and, just what's important for me and what I want to move towards. After years of warehouse jobs and heavy lifting, I realized that money is not compromising my health and not worth compromising my health and longevity. So before I injure myself any further, I'm looking for better opportunities. Fantastic, great. I did many construction jobs. My dad, my family business, we made acrylic bathtubs and showers and sinks, and I worked construction that. And then another point we did curved glass business, and then another point we did limestone fireplaces. We did the mantle and surrounds for fireplaces. So I grew up doing physical labor. I had to work for the family business when I was a kid, and I never got paid for it. My dad would always make myself and my brother and my sister go to work. We'd have to give up our weekends. We'd have to give up our summer breaks, and we hated it, but it helped shape me a lot in, being a hard worker and everything that I am today. But I did a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of physical labor. I always hated it, and I was always wanting to be in front of the computer instead. So the time that I spent playing video games and all that when I was a kid, it's kind of benefited me today doing what I do online. But yeah, it's my brother had a similar realization where my brother's 9 years older than me. He's my stepbrother, but he had built a successful renovations company and did really well with that. But he had so much stress, so much physical labor and everything. It wasn't good for him. So he built an online business instead, and it's made a huge difference in his life. I always just kind of realize, like, what I do every day, it's not hard work. Like, how hard is it just to be in front of a computer and click on things? There's people out there working so much harder, physical labor and demands of that. And I've been there before too, but I always just appreciate what a business online can do for you, because it gives you that freedom. I mean, there's some times where I take my laptop, I go to a coffee shop, or I take my laptop and I go down by the pool, right? And I work and I'm in the sun and getting a tan. It's just such an amazing privilege today of what's been available for us. And it's an opportunity for everyone to take advantage of if you can, because the internet's just changed things and made it so much easier than our parents and our grandparents had to go through to make money. Okay, great questions, guys. Feel free to post more questions. And I appreciate Mr. Sunglasses for sharing the Knowledge Business Blueprint. There's so many people that are benefiting so much from it and have passion for it. And it's another reminder for you guys is that it's closing tonight at midnight, less than 12 hours from now. The bonuses, the offer they have, my bonuses, everything's going away. So the links are in the description of this YouTube video. I've got a link that will take you right to the page to learn more about it and sign up. And I've also got a link to my bonuses there too. So, if you want to work with me and get coaching and mentorship from me, then that's one of the best ways that I can serve you with it. It's one of the best opportunities, because if I was starting over again, this is what I do. Because I talked the other day in a stream as well, is that you're going to learn how to make more immediate income that can allow you to quit your job and then focus on building your online business and your passive income long term. Because a lot of building an online business just takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to make passive income. It doesn't happen overnight. You're planting seeds, and you don't really benefit from it for maybe months or years down the road. So making immediate income, it's a great opportunity for those that want to do that and develop their skills, become an expert, and make an impact. Stefan, my friend, wants me to get into real estate flipping training. It's $20,000. I want to, but I'm nervous. What are your thoughts? I'm not too familiar with real estate flipping. It's I know people that are very successful at it. And again, you can be successful at any endeavor that you want. There's plenty of role models and success stories that are successful at real estate flipping. So if you wanted to pursue that, great. And if you're passionate about it and you want to do well and there's the opportunity there for it, go for it. I don't know enough to really, say and comment about the business model, I guess, per se. You've obviously got to make sure that it makes sense, that when you buy a property, and make sure you're aware of all the fees and everything involved with it, the lawyer fees, the transfer fees. And then, of course, when you buy it and then the value of it, how it goes up or changes, or whether you improve the place and then you sell it at a higher price, and the market and all that. There's a number of factors and whatnot for it. But, because it is a business that does require knowing what you're doing, because there's a consequence if you don't. The consequence in business, when you don't know what you're doing, you can lose a lot of your money that you've got put into it. So I would always recommend to get a training. Get a course, get something that help you. I don't know about the one that you're talking about, but weigh whatever your options are, and if you feel it's a good fit for you, then great, pursue it. Hi, Stefan. How can I scale up my counseling practice? I was thinking of utilizing YouTube and courses. What are your thoughts? So you've got to leverage yourself. You're never going to be able to leverage yourself by doing one-on-one counseling, consulting, or coaching. You're trading your time for money. And instead, the next step that you should do is you should do group coaching, group counseling, and you can scale it up by charging more money for it. And the way you can do that is you got to learn some marketing skills. The Knowledge Business Blueprint, by the way, is perfect for you. 100% perfect for you. You should jump into that if you really want to scale that, because you already have knowledge or expertise and you're learning from the best in the world, Tony Robbins, Graziosi, and Russell Brunson, that get paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars for their time. So that's a no-brainer to join that program. But you got to scale it next from one-on-one to doing groups. When you do groups and you do events, for example, or you do group coaching or a group event online through a Zoom call, Skype, Google Hangout, whatever it is, you record it. You record it because now you're creating content from that. And then with that content, you take that and you can then turn that, if you wanted to, in a course or put it up on YouTube or Instagram, whatever it is, and repurpose that content so that you can also build your brand and your audience and attract new people to you. So that's how you have to think. You got to leverage your time as much as possible. I've been watching your videos, great videos, I love them, thank you. Here's my question, how can I get back that burning desire to be successful? I feel like I've lost track and I'm so down, like for me. You've got to find what your why is. Everybody has a why, a purpose behind what they do. You just got to ask yourself, why do I want to be successful? Right now, what comes up for you? Why do you want to be successful? In fact, you should know the answer to that just like this. I remember, Brian Tracy, someone I was listening to and studied a lot when I was 17, 18 years old. One thing that he said is that you should know your reasons why you want your goal of success so much that if someone in the middle of the night while you're sleeping were to come into your bedroom and start shaking you like this and say, what is your reason? What is your purpose? Why? You should be able to say it right then and there. You should not have to think about it. You've got to own it and be associated on that level where you know what your reasons, what your purpose is. So you've got to do some soul searching and ask yourself, why do you want this? Why do you want to be successful? What will it give you? What are the benefits that you'll gain from being successful in your life? How will it change your life? In fact, if you're not already right now, take out a pen and paper, start writing down these questions that I'm giving you. And my assignment for you would be to sometime this week, schedule out time alone. Okay, no distractions, no cell phone, no nothing. If you can go out and be in nature, even better. But spend a few hours, take out a journal, and just write out several pages to the responses to the questions I'm going to give you. Okay, so here's the questions you want to ask yourself. Are you ready? You got a pen and paper? Are you going to write this down? Remember, successful people do what the failures don't. If you're passive, you're not going to get benefit. You're wasting your time here today. Be serious about your life. Okay, be serious, because the advice that I'm giving you can truly change your life if you decide to be open and take it on. But here's the questions I'd ask. Number one is, why do I want to be successful? Write a page underneath that question, whatever reasons you can think of. Next question I'd ask myself is, what would success give me in my life? What are all the benefits I'll get in my life by becoming successful? Okay, and again, write down a page. What are all the benefits? Write down every little benefit you can think of. Give me the ability to travel the world. I can give and contribute in incredible ways. I'll grow so much in my life. I'll have the freedom to do what I want, when I want, with whomever I want. I can buy that car that I've always dreamed about one day, and I can make that real. Maybe I'll be able to attract the man or woman of my dreams, and they'll respect me and look up to me and be inspired by me. I can maybe be a role model for other people. I can prove to other people what's possible. Okay, every reason you can possibly think of. And then I also want you to write down, what will your life be like a year from now, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now? Scale it out and think, what would your life be like if you became successful? Think about everything that you could do, every adventure that you could have, everything you could experience, and tap into your visualization. See, visualization, your imagination, is more powerful than knowledge. Because knowledge is what is, and your imagination is what could be. So you have to visualize and see yourself and see that life that you could have. If you could have it any way you want, what would that be? And what would it be like 5 or 10 years from now? It's really exciting when you really think about that. And I've done that many times, and I think about the day, doing this one experience, or building schools or houses for families, or to buy that car, or to live in that house, or to have that boat, or whatever it is, to go to that seminar or work with that person, hire that person as my coach. I think of everything that money or success could give me in my life, and I imagine and see that 5 or 10 years from now. So have some questions like that, okay? Questions that essentially what we're doing here is we're linking pleasure to the process of success. And then also what you want to write down is, what is the pain and the consequence you'll have in your life if you don't become successful? What's that consequence? And you write down a response. And you realize, oh my God, by not becoming successful in my life's not going to change. My life today is going to be the exact same a year from now. Nothing will have changed in my life. It'll be another year of my life wasted, struggling in my life, not being able to do what I want to do, not having the freedom just to go out and buy the food that I want to have, or to go to a restaurant and have whatever I want, or be able to go to the clothing store and be able to buy whatever clothes that I want to buy, or to be able to give when there's an opportunity to give because I live in so much scarcity and fear in my life. Or, I'm not gonna be able to take care of my family. I'm not gonna be able to take care of my loved ones, my partner, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my husband, my wife. And they have to struggle and suffer because I'm not stepping up in my life, and I'm not stepping up and doing what it takes to create the life for them that they deserve. So think about every reason that there's a consequence to it. Think about what you've missed out on in your life. What have you already missed out on? The experiences that you could have had, but you haven't been able to because you didn't have the money to. Think about the opportunities that you had to pass up. Like right now, I'm providing for you guys a fucking incredible opportunity. Excuse my French. But what I'm sharing with you guys here with the Knowledge Business Blueprint, my bonuses, is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you can't afford that, that should create tremendous pain in your life, because what kind of life do you want to live when there's an opportunity that could benefit and change your life, but you can't take advantage of it because you're not in the financial situation to? Like, wouldn't you want in your life to be so financially abundant that you can, like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna invest in this. I'm gonna get that seminar. I'm gonna go to that course. I'm gonna stay in that hotel. And you have that freedom. For me, man, it creates so much pain in my life not being able to do that. It disturbs me because I think, what kind of life is this? I've been given this incredible gift called life. There's so much opportunity that's available for me, and I'm not able to experience this gift that I've been given fully. I'm not able to experience life fully and everything that it has to offer because I'm not doing what it takes to be able to do that. And for me, that frustrates me. Maybe not for you, but it does for me. I remember one time I was in Cambodia, and I went to Angkor Wat and all this, and I remember I was in, I forget what the capital is called in Cambodia, but I was there and I was struggling. I was building my online business at the time, and I was making $300 a month. I think that was my goal that I achieved. From that, and I had to stay in hostels. One hostel I remember I was staying at, it was horrible. There was no air conditioning in it. They just had a fan. It was so hot. And I remember I was doing some dream building. I was there by myself, and I was walking. I was into fitness at the time. I was getting into fitness, and I was trying to find gyms that I could work out at. And so I thought I was trying to sneak into these hotel gyms, right? Because these nice hotels, they have gyms that you can train at. So some of the gyms, you have to have like a fob or a key card to get in the gym. Others you don't, right? Others you can try to get your way into the gym, or if you get in at the right time, someone that's staying at the hotel, they open the door or you knock on the window and they let you into the gym. So that's what I was doing at the time. So I'm trying to go to these gyms to work out. And anyways, I also was doing some dream building though, and I was going to these hotels. And I go to the front desk and I say, how much does it cost to stay here? And they'd give me a response, and they say it's $300 a night. Some hotels, $1,000 a night. And I remember just kind of like walking away feeling so deflated and so frustrated with my life, because I was like, you know what kind of life is this where I want to experience the best that life has to offer, but I can't. And that's just a horrible feeling when you want to do something, but you can't. For me, that's not life. That's not the max experience of life that's available for us. So for me, that created a lot of pain, and I'd look for those things to motivate me, right? To inspire me to get, passionate about, this is why I want to become successful. It became a reason for me. So my point is, answer this question: what will it cost you? What have you already been missing out on? What are you going to miss out in your future if you don't get your life together 5 years or 10 years from now? Because you want to elicit some pain to light a fire under your ass to take action. A lot of people don't change unless they get satiated, and then they get disturbed. Sometimes you got to hit a threshold. Sometimes you got to hit rock bottom, right? You got to have your back against the wall, and you're in a position where it becomes a must for you. And sometimes you have to manufacture that intensity and that emotion when you're too comfortable in your life. And that's why I do these motivational videos where I'm trying to light that fire under your ass. I'm trying to disturb you. I'm trying to challenge you a bit so that you don't settle. And I want to make you uncomfortable. And listen, I know that I ruffle a few feathers sometimes. I'm not afraid to do that because I'm doing it with the intention of trying to serve you and to get you to the truth. Oftentimes we tell stories and we lie to ourselves. You get to the truth, you can change anything. The truth can set you free. But it requires being honest with yourself, and people are afraid to because it doesn't feel good. They make up stories and they lie, and they're avoiding the inevitable pain that they'll have later in their life. Why wait? Why not just experience the pain now and hit rock bottom, decide that you're going to do whatever it takes? Otherwise, the pain later in life will be a lot more intense and a lot greater. It's like delaying the inevitable, right? It doesn't make sense why to do that. Great questions, guys. Feel free to post more. Hey, Stefan, how do I surround myself with positive people? You know, proximity is so important, and surrounding yourself with the right people. You really got to change your environment, okay? You've got to find communities and groups that already exist where these positive people are that you want to be around. So one thing I look is like meetup.com, there's meetup groups, even Craigslist.com, you know, different, websites like that where you can find groups of people. It could be, you know, workshops, it could be seminars. I'm always going to those and I'm meeting people and networking with them. It could be yoga classes, it could be meditation groups, it could be going to church, right? These are all environments where you're more likely to meet people that are positive people, that are on track with their lives, or they're into self-development, or they're open-minded. So I would try to find, depending on what your goals are, but try to find groups like that and be around them consistently, and you'll start to attract those people in your life and develop friendships with them. You know, for me, I did a training on this. It's one of my bonuses for Knowledge Business Blueprint, where I went into my story more about how I've surrounded myself with people that were successful. And what changed my life was when I was 17 years old. I've shared this before. I got into self-development. The biggest area of my life I wanted to change was my dating life, my confidence, my social skills, because that produced the biggest pain that I had at that stage of my life. And so I started I was reading books, I was listening to Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, David D'Angelo, all these different people, Paul McKenna, Jim Rohn, all these motivational people, right? So I started spending a lot of time though online, and then found these message boards, and I found these communities online where I'd post online and interact with people. And this is before Facebook. Now there's Facebook. Like, we have our Facebook group. If you haven't joined yet, you should. Maybe Zuriel, who's moderating the chat, you could post the group for everyone. But we've got an awesome community there. But anyways, I was on message boards, and I discovered that there was a group of people in Vancouver, Canada, that were meeting up every weekend to focus on going out and meeting women and improving their confidence and their social skills. And so I lived in the suburbs of British Columbia, the Lower Mainland, and I decided, you know, I gotta be around these guys. I was learning all this theory, but I wasn't doing it. I had all the theory about how to approach a woman and how to have a conversation and all that stuff, but I didn't know how to do it. So I realized I couldn't just be a keyboard jockey, I gotta get into action. So one day, on a Saturday, I reach out to these people, and they invite me to come and join their group and to meet them. They had a meetup. It was at the McDonald's on Granville Street. Granville Street is like a nightclub, bar street downtown Vancouver. And there's also Robson Street, which is like a shopping district. And so I took the bus 1 hour, right? 1 hour from where I lived in Richmond, British Columbia, all the way to downtown Vancouver. And I go to the McDonald's. I'm so shy. I'm so introverted. I'm trying to find out who these guys are. This is before there's profile pictures and Facebook and all that, so I had no idea what they looked like. And this is also a time, this is, just to give you an idea, this is 12 years ago. So this is also a time where it's a little bit crazy to meet up with people online, because you're gonna get kidnapped and murdered, right? So I was a little bit nervous to do this. Anyways, I'm at the McDonald's. I'm trying to find out who these guys are. I see this group of guys, and I figure that must be them, but I was too shy to actually go up and talk to them. I waited about 30 minutes, and then I finally went up and I asked them if it was them. They said yes. And that moment changed my life, because for the first time ever, I met these other men. They were all older than I was. I was 18 years old. They were in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. But they were charismatic, they were confident, they had life experience, and they took me under their wing. And I remember going out with them that day and seeing them. We'd walk down Robson Street, and there'd be an attractive woman, and they'd go up and approach the woman. And they'd have a conversation. I was blown away by that. I'd never seen that before. I had an epiphany from that, a paradigm shift. It shifted my belief system. And even then before, I had learned about it online, I heard about those things happening, but it didn't feel real until I actually saw it. And that's the power of being in proximity, right? A lot of you right now, you're hearing about building a business and success, but you're not around people that are actually successful in your life, and so it doesn't feel real for you. You've got to be in proximity to people that are successful for it to really become real. So I saw these as regular guys, regular people, and I started going out with them every weekend, and it accelerated my growth. Because here I was, 18 years old, hanging out with people that were older than myself. I became more mature. I became more experienced. I became more confident. I benefited from them massively, automatically. I didn't have to do anything. Just by being around someone, you benefit through osmosis because they're influencing your beliefs and your behaviors. You're taking from the people that you're surrounding yourself with and taking parts of them and becoming part of yourself. Because you're the average of the 5 people you spend time with. That changed my life so much, guys, probably more than anything. And then when I was 21 years old, I moved out from my mom's house to live on my own, and I moved in with roommates that were part of this community. We built a house. We didn't build a house. We moved into a house called Project Vancouver, is what we called it, because we were reading this book called The Game by Neil Strauss, and they had Project Hollywood. So we decided we're going to build Project Vancouver. And the first house, there was 5 of us living in this house, and we're all into self-development. We're all into, improving our lives. And so we used to have these Sunday house meetings. We'd have these big whiteboards in our living room, and we'd have to share what our goals are for the week. We'd hold each other accountable. We had this mastermind. Every week we're holding each other accountable. We're helping each other succeed. Then we realized we found this one house that we could live in, that if we each paid $500 a month and got 8 or 9 of us, we could live in this big house in Kitsilano, Vancouver. So we all moved into this. There was 8 or 9 of us living in this big house. We were each paying $500 a month. We had these big 2 whiteboards in our living room, and we would challenge each other every week. We were building each other's businesses and helping each other succeed. We're going out together. If you didn't do what you said that week and on the accountability on the whiteboard, you have to pay a $10 penalty to the house. So the house would collect money, and we'd use that money to make the house better. I started doing public speaking because I was able to host a public speaking night. I got everyone together. Let's do a public speaking night where once a week on Tuesdays, everyone has to give a speech in front of everyone else around 5 or 10 minutes on something that you learned that week. So I was forcing myself to teach and share what I learned and practicing my speaking skills in front of other people, right? And we'd all help each other with that. We'd give each other feedback. We'd film each other too and try to help each other that way. We'd have these house parties we'd put on. There's so much that we did, but my environment shaped me, right? And a lot of you, what you're doing is you're watching YouTube videos or reading books. You're doing a lot of that great stuff, but you're not changing your environment. And that's a challenge because you're trying to make progress in your life, but you have these internal conflicts where your environment's holding you back. So that's what I did. I did it when I was 18 years old, guys. Many of you watching this are 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. Some of you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. There's no excuse. There's no reason. I didn't let anything stop me. And that's why I became successful and created the life that I have is many of you are looking and listening to me right now and you're saying, yeah, but... For me, there was no but. There was just do or not do, and that's what it comes down to. How much does it cost to make an ebook? 0. You could write the book yourself. Sit down, write a book. You just got to have a Word document or something like that where you can write your book. I mean, if you want to outsource a cover, you can get a book cover done for $5 or $10. If you want to outsource the book, you can do that too. You can hire a writer that can write a book for you, but that is going to cost depending on the length of the book. It's going to cost depending on the talent of the writer, their skill set, their expertise. So it's as much as you want it to be. I'm 16 years old. Your videos have changed my life beyond belief. Happy to hear that. Thank you. Hey, Stefan, how do you know when you are ready or in a good position to start a business? And is it important to have a team when you start? You don't need to have a team. I never start with a team. Most people just start as a solopreneur. And whenever you're ready, the time to start is now. There's no better time than right now to start your business or to make a decision or take action. Don't delay these things because you're always going to wish that you started sooner. That's always been my experience. Think about it right now. Don't you wish that you started self-development sooner? Where could you be today if you got into self-development 5 years ago, right? You'd be so much further ahead right now in your life. Where would you be today if you had started your business 5 years ago? Well, you'd probably be making a lot of money right now. You'd be doing pretty well. Where would you be if you started 10 years ago? You'd probably be a millionaire, or at least making 6 figures. So you don't want to have that feeling of I wish I started sooner. Everybody says that. Everyone says, I wish I started sooner. So if that's the case, just start now. The best time to have planted a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now today. So just start, It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the perfect business idea. the first beginning stages of building a business, you're just learning, you're trying to figure things out, you're going through the learning curve. But the sooner that you start, the faster that you learn and the faster that you're going to have success. Stefan says, hi, I'm having a problem with self-loathing a few months ago. I was fully confident in myself in all areas of my life. It really improved. Before that, I was in the same rut now. Please, any tips? The antidote to self-loathing is self-love. Self-love. See, you got to love yourself, guys. You got to love yourself. We all crave love because we're all born as human beings in unconditional love. For a human being to be alive and to survive, we have to be loved. We're one of the only species that when we're born, if we're not physically loved by our parents or someone else, then we actually die. It's called failure to thrive syndrome. And when you're loved, your mom loves you, your dad loves you because they have oxytocin in their system that causes them to love you, no matter what you look like or whatever it is. Any biochemically healthy mother loves their baby. If they're biochemically unhealthy, then they can leave their child at a young age, but most can't because of the oxytocin. It's a natural drug that we have as when parents have a baby because it creates an attachment to it. So they have to love us. And we've been our whole lives, when you're young, craving that love. And there's a certain point in your life, though, when that oxytocin wears off from your parents and they don't love you that same way unconditionally as they once did. All of a sudden now, when you do something, they get mad at you, they yell at you, they smack you, or they ignore you. And that's where fear enters your life, because now you have the fear of not being loved in your life, and you believe that you have to do something to be loved. You believe that in order to be loved by your mom or dad, you have to achieve something. You have to be successful, right? And it starts when you're young, when you start to walk, and your mom, your dad looks at you and say, oh my God, Stefan's walking. Oh my God, they give you all this love and all this attention for an accomplishment, an achievement. And in your brain, you link up when you're a baby that if I achieve something, then I'm loved. And now you live your whole life as an overachiever as a way to try to get love. Or maybe when you're a baby, you start making funny noises. You make your family laugh and they start laughing. You start farting or you make weird noises or whatever it is and they laugh and you link in your mind, I get attention and love by being funny, by being silly. And now all of a sudden you link up in your brain when you're a kid that if you're funny, then you get love. And now you're a comedian your whole life. Right? And that's why you see comedians and people that do that, they live their life that way because they've linked up in their mind that by being funny, they get love from that. And they're living their life today as a comedian, making other people laugh. Or maybe when you're a baby, that doesn't work. Maybe when you're a baby, you start making a mess, or you start breaking things, or you're a troublemaker, and you get attention from your parents. It's not the love, but you're getting some form of connection, and you settle for that, and now you're a troublemaker your whole life, and you're always causing problems and getting into trouble because you're getting some level of attention from that you linked in your mind at a young age. So we're programmed at a young age, we crave love, and we spend our whole lives trying to get that love. And we have a blueprint, a model of the world that's based on that we've been imprinted at a young age. And so you've got to recognize that. And what you got to understand is that you'll always lose if you're looking for love externally. If you're looking for love from your boyfriend, girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your parents, your kids, that's not going to be sustainable love. The real love you got is the love you got to give yourself. So what you got to do is you have to have a ritual where you give yourself love every day. Now, let me ask you this question. If you love someone, how do you let them know that you love them? How do you let them know that you love them? Well, maybe you spend time with them, right? Quality time. Well, let me ask you this. How much quality time do you spend with yourself? To show yourself that you love yourself. And I'm talking about real quality time. The quality time where you dedicate time for yourself to nurture yourself. Maybe you take yourself out on a date because you love yourself and you feel that you're worthy enough to do that. You go out for dinner and you treat yourself, or you treat yourself by getting a massage, or you go out in nature for a walk alone by yourself and you build that relationship, that connection with you. Right? You've got to build that relationship with you. How else do you let someone know that you love them? Well, you probably say you tell them that you love them, right? You're going to tell them and look into their eyes and say, I love you. How often do you do that for yourself? Why can't you look yourself in the mirror every day in your eyes and tell yourself that you love yourself? Praise yourself, compliment yourself, list out and say to yourself, I'm so proud of you for this and that. I'm so proud that you did this. Or, praising yourself on all your features or how you look and, all the things that most of us were so hard on ourselves. But if you don't love yourself, how can you expect someone else to love you? In fact, other people could love you in your life, but you're going to always have a barrier that prevents you from receiving that love fully because you don't fully love yourself. So you're not going to be able to receive and accept that love fully. You can do anything. You can give yourself a hug. You can buy yourself gifts. Whatever you would do to love and show love for someone else, do that for yourself. It's not that hard to do. And when you love yourself in that way, it doesn't matter what other people think of you. It really doesn't, because you feel confident and you built up your self-esteem within you. And you've got to acknowledge yourself for all the little things. Because listen, when you were a kid, did you not wish that your parents praised you more? Do you not wish that your parents, I had a dad never praised me at all, but I wish, he'd tell me that he's proud of me more often, or, acknowledge me for, you did this well, Stefan, you did that well, great job. He gave me praise for the effort that I put in my life. And we got to do that for ourselves, guys. We got to give ourselves that praise and that recognition and not wait for other people to give that for us. Okay, let's do a few more questions. My question is, when you start investing in the stock market, where's the best to put money first? Indexes, bonds, all start in stocks. I never invest before. I'm 34 years old. I've read a few books about investing in the market. What is your advice? So, I always look at a portfolio that always starts with an index fund, an ETF, an exchange-traded fund. I like to, for example, buy the index of the S&P 500, the Standard & Poor's. It's the top 500 companies in the U.S. That's a more conservative investment, and you got to always first invest in a conservative way. Okay, your number one goal when you have money is to protect it, not to lose it, but to have it grow. And long-term investing first and foremost. You always got to start with that. So an index fund is great because you're diversified across 500 of the top companies in the U.S. and there's index funds in the United Kingdom, or there's index funds of emerging markets, the whole world, different economies and everything too. So you're more investing in a specific economy in a specific country, and it's a way to protect yourself because you don't have all your eggs, all your money just in one company. So index fund is great. And then what I do is, of course, you always got to have a good amount of savings, like an emergency fund. For me, that's always been 3 to 6 months worth of my income that got put aside just in case. And then you also got to identify, okay, what is my goal for investing? Do you want just a capital appreciation, capital gains, where you buy something, you sell it a year, 5, 10 years from now? What is the time frame that you have? You got to know, are you investing for the next 5 or 10 years? Is it for your retirement? Or are you much older right now in your 50s and 60s and you're going to need the money more in the next few years? That's going to change based on what your goals are. So you got to think about that. And then, for me, I like investing in what I know. That's a good piece of advice from Warren Buffett. Invest in what you know. And for me, I'm very much involved in technology. So I know Amazon, I know Apple, I know Facebook, I know Google, I know these different companies that I work with, every day and use in my business. And so I know these businesses, and so I feel confident to invest in them. So I invest in some of those. I have dividend-paying stocks that I think also is great to invest in as well. And you want to, spread out your money in different sectors. Pick a sector first that you can start with, and then branch out to other sectors as well. And then some of these companies, I like to invest in large cap companies, big companies, but you can have a percent for more riskier companies, penny stocks if you wanted to. But for me, for the most part, I don't use my investments as a way to get wealthy. My business is for that. I use my business as a way to get rich. My investments are mostly to grow that money slowly while also protecting it as well as much as I possibly can. And that's more long-term. My investments that I buy are like 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. So I look and measure the success of them long-term because I don't need the immediate money from it. The immediate money you get from your job, you get from your business. You're investing long-term for your future and your retirement and all that. Andrea says, do you have any tips for how to keep your relationships in balance with your work? You know, for me, I schedule certain days out of the week where I dedicate to my relationships. So I look at every area of my life, right? My health, my emotions, my relationships, my business, all the different areas of my life, and I schedule in the time for that. So you might schedule in your time every week for your business, time for your morning ritual, for your mindset, your emotions, your spiritual life, time to go to the gym and work out every day or whatever that might be. Same thing for your relationship. You schedule the days of the week for that. So, you know, for me with Tatiana, it's always been on the weekends. We spend the weekends together, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You know, we have a date night or 2 date nights per week. Sometimes during the week as well, you know, we watch Netflix or we chill, we have fun, whatever it is, but we schedule in that time. And that checks the box that every week we're making progress and we're growing that area of our life. But also, it's not just the time that you spend in a relationship, but it's the thought and the creativity behind it. So I think that just, you know, you could obviously spend time with someone, but it's not the same. Like an example might be just hanging out with your partner and watching Netflix. That's fine, but it's not going to be the same as planning an adventure, doing something cool, something different. They're not going to really remember those days in a relationship where you just did the same thing every day. You just watch Netflix. I like to create magic moments I'll look back and I'll never forget. Moments that I did something different, because that's when you really have the memories of your life that you look back. And so I look at more at that. How can I create moments in my relationship? And for Tatiana and I, we travel a lot, and that's been our best moments. Right now, Tatiana's in Rio de Janeiro, and I'm going to meet her in Florianopolis, Brazil next week. And we're going to be there for a week, and we're going to go to Iguazu Falls on the border of Brazil and Argentina. We're going to go to Buenos Aires in Argentina and Chile, Santiago, Chile. We're going to go to Africa this year. We're going to Fiji this year. We're going to mastermind with Tony Robbins. But all these trips and experiences, I like to create those for our relationship, because that's more valuable than just spending hours with your partner. It's the meaningful time that you want to really create. Question, you often hear the metaphor that you'll always be successful when you do what you truly want. As an adult, who doesn't know what he wants to do yet but needs to earn money soon? Your advice. You know, part of finding what you want is trying different things, okay? So just try different things. It's almost like saying, okay, I want to attract a man and women in my life. I want to find my ideal partner, but I don't know what I want. So I'm not going to do anything. No, the way you find out what you want in a relationship or your partner is you start dating people. You meet different men and women, you go on dates with them, and when you go on a date with them, you sit down with them, and whether it's a good or positive, good experience or a bad experience, you go back from that and you say, wow, you know, I like this about them, but I don't like this. Okay, I'm learning more what I want. Then you go on another date with someone else. You think, okay, I like this, but I don't like this. Okay, I'm learning more what I want. And you go on the third date, the fourth date. You date different people, and that's how you find out what you want. So the way you find out what you want is you got to try a lot of different things. You got to see what you're good at, what you enjoy, and what you don't enjoy, and what you don't like. And then you start to learn yourself, and you can find then, yeah, this is what I really love. This is what I want to do with my life. So don't let not knowing what you want to do prevent you from doing anything. Again, you've got to go out there and try different things, start different businesses, go through different books and courses and training programs, try different things. It's okay to try different things and to dabble a little bit if you need to find out what you like and what you don't like. That's the only way you're really going to know. Nobody just knows, you know, you've got to try different things. I guess some people do know, you know, if you're like Michael Jackson, I guess, but a lot of cases it's, you know, their parents that get them into the thing. But, you know, there's some people that at a young age, they just know, but most people don't. I didn't, and I had to try a lot of different things. Any other questions, guys? Feel free to post them. And by the way, if you guys are enjoying this, if I'm answered some great questions, give you some value. Give me a thumbs up here on YouTube. I appreciate it. It's a way of me knowing that I'm doing a good job and I'm adding value. It'd be the equivalent that if we're in the same room right now and I was speaking to you in front of an audience and you'd give me a round of applause, hopefully, or give me a clap for what I'm sharing with you guys. So I appreciate that. Okay. Do you recommend to share your goals and dreams or keep your goals private? I love to share it because it creates accountability. If you create goals but you don't share it, you're only accountable to yourself, and so you could easily back out. The only consequence of that is you're letting yourself down, your own disappointment. So by sharing goals, you're more likely to follow through. By making a public commitment, you're much more likely to follow through on that. So that's what I did on my YouTube channel. I started that in 2012. I shared my goals. I've done that every year since. And that was one thing that really changed my life, helped me achieve so much more than I ever could on my own, because now I have more pressure. And pressure creates diamonds. Pressure will force you to step up more. So I like to share things in that way. You need accountability in your life, and I get that by sharing my goals. I get mentors, coaches, masterminds, all those things help make sure that I follow through. How do you avoid distractions and build new habits that are necessary to achieve your goals? It's a process. You got to understand, every habit you want to develop at the beginning is always the hardest. Anytime you do anything new, the beginning is the hardest. I often use the analogy as like a rocket going into space. Okay, for a rocket to get out of the Earth's atmosphere, it's going to defy gravity. And it's going to require using up 80% of its fuel just to get out of the Earth's atmosphere. And it's the same thing with starting a habit, right? At the beginning stages of trying to work out at the gym or start a business or do a morning ritual, at the beginning it's the hardest because you have to get that momentum, right? You've got to use a lot of fuel, a lot of energy. But once you get outside the Earth's atmosphere, it doesn't require much fuel because now you've got momentum. And it's the same thing. Once you've been doing something for 21 days, 30 days, it becomes a habit. And just a lot easier to do it. So one thing that I always like to do for developing new habits is I do a 30-day challenge. Okay, at least 30 days where I say, okay, meditation or affirmations or my morning ritual or going to the gym, whatever it is, I'm going to do it for 30 days. And I'm going to create something where every day I have to check the box that I did it, right? And I have to push myself at the beginning, right? At the beginning, again, it is going to be tough. It's going to require willpower and discipline. Get accountability as well. Have an accountability buddy or someone that can help push you every day as well. Someone maybe that has the same goal, wants to develop the same habit as yourself. But again, once you do it for 30 days, it's easy. It's automatic. So that's how I always look at it. And you're just going to look at what's been distracting you, and whatever's been distracting you, just try to cut that out in your life. And a lot of it's social media, a lot of it's TV. But slowly start to eliminate that stuff. For me, I'm more of an extreme person. One thing that I did is I sold my PlayStation because I was addicted to it. So I sold it, got rid of all my video games. I just hit a threshold. I said, you know what? Done. Like, I'm going to get rid of this. I sold my TV at one point in my life too, and it was a great decision because I was addicted to it. It was just sucking up my time of what I could dedicate to different things in my life. So for me, I like to burn the boat as much as I can so that I can't go back to it. Okay, guys, we'll do a few more questions. Okay. Let's see, I'm trying to pick one that can benefit the most people here. Question, what would you do if your wife is very sick and you have many possibilities to growth, and because taking care of her, your dreams are on hold and money is getting low? If I was in that situation, having money would be a big priority for me, because the money that you can have is probably one of the only ways that you're going to be able to help that person on that way and be able to support them in a sustainable way. So what I would try to do, number one is I'd be so motivated, like next level motivated. When you are in a situation where something's a must, when your back is against the wall, when you've got to figure it out, when the gun is to your head, and if you don't figure it out and you don't become resourceful, that's when you tap into your true genius, your true creativity, your true work ethic. All of that goes to a whole new level. So I would be so motivated being in that position and dedicated just to whatever I possibly would have to do. I mean, I would sacrifice my sleep if I had to. I'd sleep 4 hours a day if I had to. Whatever I had to do, I would find a way to do. But probably if I was in that situation, I'd find a way to get money, to make more money. That's the only way you're gonna be able to support this person. And I would try to find a way to leverage and get someone else that could take care of this person for me. So you gotta look at it this way. You can focus, like, your time is worth a certain amount of money, okay? Taking care of someone, if you were to pay someone else to do that for you, how much would that cost? Figure out what that amount is. Could you pay someone that could take care of this person for $15 an hour, $20 an hour maybe? Okay, if that's the case, then you should do that, pay someone to take care of that person, certain number of hours every day, $15, $20 an hour, and then you've got to make it your mission to find a way that you can get a job or a way that you can make money that's more than $20 an hour. $25, $30 an hour. Because when you do the simple math on that, you're getting a greater return for your time than you are doing something that you can get someone else to do for you for $15 or $20 an hour. So you've got to obsess, how can you find a job out there that exists? And even better is I'd find an online job where you can work from home and make money so that you can actually maybe still take care of them while also making money from home. And like I said before, there's so many of those opportunities available. You can't just limit yourself to getting a job in your local city or neighborhood. There's very few jobs that will be available for you. But when you open yourself up to working for a company somewhere in the world from home, from your computer, there's now millions of jobs that are now available for you that you can work for. So I'd probably go on to Upwork.com, and I'd find jobs and apply for jobs there and try to over-deliver for a company and work my ass off for a company and develop the skills where I could serve them and get paid a good amount of money for that, and then use that money to pay for someone to take care of this partner that I'd have and make more money that way. So you've always got to look at the return on your time. You've got to act as if 1 hour of your time is worth $50 or $100 an hour. If you make $1 million a year and you work 40 hours a week, okay, and you do the math of however many weeks there are in the year, $40, and you divide $1 million by that, you determine the number of hours in a week, and times that by the number of weeks in the year, and you divide that by $1 million, 1 hour of your time is $500. That's how you determine the value of your time. So for me, I know I make a couple million a year, and I know my time is worth thousands of dollars for 1 hour of it. I'm not going to do activities that are $20 per hour activities, because now I know my time is worth this much. Well, you might not be worth that yet, but you've got to act as if you are. You've got to do money-making activities. You've got to use the hour of your day and leverage it as much as you possibly can to get a better return on it. Figure out how to spend that hour to get more money out of that hour than you are right now. And that's really what the process is. Okay, I'll do one more question. Let me just try to find one that, again, can benefit the most people here. I'm struggling with visualization to envision the life that I want to achieve. Do you use visualization on a regular basis? And was it difficult at first? So we all visualize. All of us do. Some of us, though, we visualize so fast that we can't consciously remember. So, for example, right now, if I were to tell you, close your eyes. Seriously, do it right now. If you're driving, then don't close your eyes. Close your eyes. What's the color of my shirt? Okay, open your eyes. Now, I'm sure you said it was black. Why? Because in order for you to actually know that, and close your eyes, you had to visualize and see myself, and that's how you're able to recall that, is you had to use visualization. So we all visualize. The key to visualization, though, is one thing I like to do is I like to write it out. So one thing I'd recommend you do is write out in detail and be descriptive of the life that you want. Okay, write it out in detail. The other thing that I do is once you've written out your vision for your life, excuse me, then find pictures and images or videos. Like create a vision board, take videos online from YouTube videos and edit it all together to create a vision board video if you need to. Because now visually you're being stimulated and you're also imagining yourself. A lot of people, when we watch TV, by the way, we go to movies, we go into a trance and we actually experience the movie as if we're in the movie. right? We have an associated experience to it. And it's the same thing when you're looking at a vision board, or you create like a vision board video, or you have the car and the vacation and the body, and you are watching it, you're imagining yourself as that. So that right there alone will help you. And then a big part of it too is just really slowing down your thoughts. Like close your eyes. Like I like to visualize when I close my eyes. And then I really ask myself questions like, where would I live? Like I imagine, like one of my favorite visualizations is your perfect day. So for example, I'll imagine, okay, what is my perfect day? Well, I'd wake up 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, and then I ask myself, what would I do next? Where would I be? I'd be living in this beautiful mansion right in the beach in California. And it's beautiful. I have these huge windows that I wake up to. The sun is shining in. I wake up and Tatiana's there and the woman of my dreams. And I just feel so grateful for another day of my life and just having this incredible being in my life. And I feel happy and I smile. And then I wake up and I get out of bed, and I go to the bathroom, I look in the mirror, I've got this amazing body, the body of my dreams, and I'm like impressed by my abs and my muscles, right? So you're probably seeing this right now, visualizing this as I say this to you, but I would go through my whole day like that. And I walk into the kitchen and I have my private chef that's there and he prepares this meal for me. Give me my wheatgrass and my juices and my smoothie for the morning, and I'm sitting out on the balcony, this amazing view, right? So go in detail, like the details are key. And that's how I'd visualize. It's just break down every single hour of the day and write out hour by hour, what would your day look like? And when you see it becomes real for you, it becomes incredibly exciting. So you just gotta slow down and do it in a slow way. Okay guys, I'm gonna get going, but listen, I appreciate you guys taking your time. I want to remind you again that the Knowledge Business Blueprint is now closing down in, I think, 10 and a half hours. So if you want to join this program, join. The links are in the description below. Click the links in the description. Head on over, sign up. I've got amazing bonuses for you. The bonuses that I have, I don't think you guys realize the value of it. I've had people that have signed up through me, not even for the Knowledge Business Blueprint, but just to get all my bonuses, because they know that to purchase all of my courses and my products separately, it's just going to cost so much more, and they're getting them all free by joining KBB through me. So the value of these bonuses that I have for you guys, I could never live without what I share there. And I think people are crazy to not take me up on it. I mean, inside my Life Master Accelerator program is the best content that I've ever created for self-development. My life would equal so much pain if I didn't have what I know now and what's inside that course. Same thing with my online Business Mastery Accelerator. Same thing with Affiliate Marketing Mastery. Same thing with all the other trainings that I'm providing. The Morning Ritual Master. All those trainings, everything I'm sharing has changed my life, and you guys can benefit and get all of that by joining KBB. So take advantage of it, guys. I'd love to serve you more, help you more. What I can do for you in terms of those programs is so much greater than I could ever do for you through my YouTube videos. I mean, just the quality of everything is another level. The content and the in-depth of it is next level from what I do here on my YouTube channel. So if you enjoy my content here, go deeper with me. I'd love to go deeper with you. I don't want to just be at the surface here, but I've got training programs and courses that can serve you at a much deeper level, and I'm giving these away for free for those that join KBB through me. So I'd love to be able to serve you more. I'd love to be a part of your life. I'd love to help and support you in your goals and your dreams. And this is an opportunity for you to be able to do that. So again, the links are below. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to be going live again today before everything closes to answer any further questions. They'll probably be in the next 7 or 8 hours. So pop on my YouTube channel if you're around, and I'm happy to go more into some more questions. Thank you guys so much, and I look forward to serving you again soon. Take care.